Hello, still hot in Iowa, and I went for a walk. So this is what you get. All right. Okay, so let's go through asymptotes. So the first one here, the first thing you have to do is factors. So remember, factoring, you take out the GCF or the greatest common factor first, right? They all have a 3 in common. And then I can factor this more. I'll come up here. That is what? An X and an X. And then I have 6. So I could use 6 and 1, but see how that's not a 5 and it's not a 7. So I'm going to use 3 and 2. And let's see, I need more positive. So I want the 3 to be on the positive loopy, and I want this to be negative. Now check your answer. X squared, yep. Outside, inside, yep. And then negative. So I'm good. So this is what you want to look at from now on, okay? Except maybe horizontal. Sometimes it's easier to look at this. Okay. Does anything cancel? No, there is no holes. Okay, vertical. Now, don't just say a number. These are actually lines. These are like, vertical lines. So x equals -3, x equals 2. Okay, so those are what causes 0 down here. Horizontal is when you look at the leading coefficient, and it's kind of like a limit as x gets really big. So if x is 1,000,000, you would have 1 over 3 and then 1,000,000 squared plus 3 times 1,000,000. But that 1,000,000 squared is so huge, this stuff just kind of doesn't do much. So you can just look at these leading coefficients. If I sub in infinity in here, you're going to have 1 divided by infinity. And so that's 0. So y equals 0. Again, that is a line. Okay, that is an asymptote. It is a line. All right, let's look at the next one. Okay, this one, lucky, no factoring, right? So nothing cancels, so no holes. What causes 0 here? X equals 4, again, a line. Now, look at your leading coefficients for the y. X divided by x, these would cancel and I get a 1. So even if x is 1,000,000, 1,000,000 divided by 1,000,000 is 1. A trillion divided by trillion is 1. So no matter what I sub in for x, this is going to get really close to 1, and it's actually going to equal exactly 1. So y equals 1 is my asymptote. All right, let's look at the next one. Okay. All right, so again, factoring is first. Okay, GCF. These guys all have an x in common. So take out an x, you get x squared minus x, and then what? Minus 6. Okay, and we're not done factoring, but that's the first step. Let's do down here, take out the GCF of a -3. So that becomes positive, that guy becomes positive, that becomes negative. And again, check your answer. Negative, negative, yeah, we're good. Okay, now I still need to keep factoring. So on top in my numerator, I have x, and again, 3 and 2 because I want to get a 1. This time I want the negative, so I want my loopy here to be the negative, positive. All right, check. X squared is good. -3x, 2x, yep, and -6. Okay. Now my denominator, let's do a -3. Let's see, we still want a 3 and a 2, it looks like, but maybe the reverse, because I want a positive x here. So I want the 3 to be on the positive loopy. So 3, that, okay, and I'm all good. Now, notice how nothing cancels. These are not identical, neither are those guys. So no holes, no. Vertical are both of those, -3 and x equals 2, whatever causes 0. Now, go back, again, with horizontal, it's good to look back at the beginning. Okay, if you look at this, if I reduce that, that is x cubed over what? 3x squared. And if I simplify that, I get x, and x is linear, okay? Or if I write 1/3 x, doesn't matter. But you have to do long division. Yeah, this will give you the leading coefficient, but you get there's a plus b on a line, right? These aren't all going to be, nice little lines that go through 0, 0. They're going to go through somewhere else. So we have to do long division on this guy to figure it out. Now, you don't have to do it very long, which is the good news. All right, all right, sorry about that. I paused a little bit, and then I got decimals going here. All right, so let's look at this. So again, there's stuff under there you probably don't want to see. All right, let me make it look a little prettier. There's not so much stuff. There we go. All right, so the top number, the numerator, goes in the little house thing or in the little division symbol. And the divisor is what you're dividing by, that goes on the bottom. Remember, you want to match, distribute, do the opposite, bring down. Helpful to put a 0 here, so you know this is where you get to stop. All right, so I'm going to match. I need an x cubed. So notice I need an x, which is in that place value. and I need to get rid of the negative and need to get rid of the 1/3, okay? So I get x cubed, negative, that'd be a positive x squared, and that's what, a negative 6x, and then there's nothing here. All right, I match, distribute, now I'm gonna opposite, so negative, negative, positive, okay? These cancel, which they should. These equal negative 2x squared. These cancel, but notice I still have a place value here. That's why putting that 0 is important, to be like, oh, I still have more to do. So now I need to match this guy. All right, now this is going to be a constant. This is your plus b part. All right, it is positive. Let's see, what else do I know? I want to cancel the 3, okay? But then I want a 2, okay? Will that do it? I don't need to worry about the x squared. So the 3 would cancel the 3, and the 2 would give me a negative 2. And I'm going to get that opposite, bring down, I'm good. And even if there's other junk, you know what I mean? Once you get that line, you're good. All right, sorry, I'm going to jump again because I paused and I brought Desmos up. So you can see how you can test your slant, okay? That is an asymptote for that graph. All right, I'm going to pause again, and then we'll go back to the last one. All right, so let's look at this last one. Okay, step number 1 is to factor. So again, we have 3 and 2. I want a positive, so I need this loop B to be positive and that. Here, you take out the GCF, negative 4. So that would be, let's see, I need negative 4x, and what is it, positive 3. Check your signs here. Negative is good. Oh, no, that should be positive. Negative, and that's negative, and then they're all negative. So that's it. Okay, everything should be positive in here. And then I'm going to factor out what? An x plus 3, x plus 1. Okay. And the reason we factor is because holes can be hiding. Do you see how these factors are identical? So these are going to cancel. And so if they're canceling, then under the hole situation, we're going to say, yes, there is a hole. Now, it has to be an order pair. It's a number. So we know what number. Well, when x equals negative 3, that is a problem. How do you get the rest of the order pair? Because this has to be an xy. You get a new function. I'm going to call it n of x. That's my new function. And my new function is what I sub it into to find the hole. So sub a negative 3 in. So negative 3, negative 2 is a negative 5. Negative 4. Some of you lost that on the quiz. And then negative 3 is what? Negative 2. So what is that? Negative 5/8. That's where the hole's going to be. Okay, that is where the hole's going to be. All right, so then, you know, for, let's see, vertical, you want to look here because there's really not a vertical there. That was a hole. X equals negative 1 is my vertical. Now, horizontal really doesn't matter where you look. Either one is fine. If I look at this, it's going to be what? X over negative 4x. If you go to the original, you can just look there. It won't matter. That is, they cancel, so it's y equals a negative 1/4 is my horizontal, okay? All right, but again, some of you on the whole got the negative 3 part. You just didn't get the ordered pair, so you got to sub it back into your new function, okay? All right, hopefully that helps.